Hello and welcome back. Tonight we are going to be discussing Beastars Chapter 52, Two Dangerous Egotists. On the first chapter, the first cover page, we have a picture of Juno here. The beautiful beast hides fearsome fangs, ready to tear any soft-skinned males to shreds. Legosi is reacting to a pair of antlers. Oh, he's thinking about Louis right now. What? Huh? Oh, nothing, sorry. Ah, dang, that wolf's creepy. Louis. He's upset that Louis's gone. My, how the tables have turned, Legosi. What did he mean by that? I've never seen Louis act that way before. If he's going through hard times, I want him to tell me. I was so happy to see him again. I hope he's not dropping out. Maybe he got a job or something. He's technically not wrong. Yeah, he has a new job, Legosi. That's exactly what it is. Oh, hey, Juno. Are you going to the wolf room? Since today is territory day, right? When the animals go to a room that matches their animal environment for 1 hour, chapter 9 for details. Oh, I remember that. So yeah, they go to their territory rooms. Pretty much it gives them comfort and it calms them down and relieves stress. Legosi's was a moonlight room since he's a gray wolf, and other canines go in there as well because it just helps calm them down from stress. That's pretty cool. Juno's mad at him. Look at him. She doesn't want to see him right now because she left him at the meteor. He left her at the meteor festival alone with the candle on her own. No date. I'd say that's what Juno gets because what she tried to pull that night. So I'd say it was well deserved for her being too forceful. So what? Oh well, I'm going there too. Why don't we go together? So I wanted to talk about Louis last week. What are your thoughts? In fact, do you know what's happening to him? He's so oblivious to how she feels right now. It's actually hilarious. She doesn't want to be around him, but Legosi's not getting the hint. He's just thinking about Louis. He's so one-track minded. What's with that innocent look on his face? The more I try to distance him, the more he approaches me. Oh, you cheeky heartbreaker. Stop trying to play with my heart. Ever since I confessed to you in the Meteor Festival, I can't look at you in the eye anymore. I was so desperate and so embarrassed back then. But then you gave me a vague answer and left me. You are strong. Now this is a flashback. You are strong. I want you to stay manly and support everyone. Did he call her manly? What? What? I want you to think about how I felt when you glossed over my confession. Also, that was the first time anyone's called me manly before. It was such a shock. Yeah, Legosi, that's kind of messed up. But that's something he would totally do, though. He has no idea what he's doing when it comes to, like, feelings. Sure, he confessed to Haru, but I guess it would kind of make sense why he didn't know what to do with Juno and her feelings, because he wasn't really thinking about that. Well, shoot, I wasn't trying to gloss over anything. I meant everything I said, but I didn't know that was a confession. I don't think anyone would see it that way. I mean, Juno liking me? Now I understand. Aw, man, he's so clueless. Legosi. Everyone noticed it except you. So, back to Juno. My love for you has lost to your hatred of your own species. That's why you're in love with that bunny girl, isn't it? But even if I've lost, I'm not done yet. That's why I want you to reject me right here, right now. I like how this affects Legosi. Because low-key, Juno's calling it like she sees it, right? Like, you would think she's just saying that out of jealousy for him liking Haru. But we actually have evidence to back up what she's saying is true. Even since he was a kid, he was uncomfortable with being in his own body, right? He said he didn't even want the strength of or pride of being a gray wolf, and he just flat out rejects himself from time to time. It's only now that he's starting to come to terms with himself, even for a little bit, even if it's for Haru. But there's actually weight to Juno's words, and that's why it hits him like this. Please, this is so hard to deal with. Don't cry, Juno. I don't think I've got the right to say this, but I think we're pretty alike. We're both pretty stubborn and overbearing, but in a good way. I think you should calm down so we can talk this over. I can't calm down or talk to you. Don't say that. We can talk in the wolf room under the artificial light. I never thought I'd actually rely on territory time. It's so true. Like, man, it's weird. This triangle's weird because it's true that Haru was the first to acknowledge him, right? But it was one-sided, and it's still kind of one-sided now because Haru just wants to be friends right now, or at least that's how it came across. But Juno is actually here wanting to give herself to him, but Legosy's denying it, even though this is the easier route, you know? He'd have a much easier life if he chose Juno right here. And he still didn't give her an answer. Oh wow. Everyone's all lively in there. Because back in chapter 9 when we got introduced to this territory room, everyone was silent. And it was pretty like gloomy in there. Very mellow atmosphere and feel. No one was really talking to each other. They were just mindlessly staring at the moon. But this place is also significant because it marked Legacy's change. When he started changing, right after he met Haru, it was the first time he left territory time. Like, you know, he left this room to actually go out into the light, you know, and watch the sunset on the roof. So, you know, this place is pretty significant for Legacy. What is this? Everyone looks so happy. In normal territory times, the wolves in the wolf room would just sit still and mind their own business. We just gaze at the moon like normal wolves do. Oh, it's Juno! I wanted to talk to you. You did a great job at the Meteor Festival. I don't know the details, but you gave a speech about a male wolf who saved a herbivore, right? That's awesome. We're moved by you. Huh? Moved? Moved? What do you mean? Ah, okay, so Juno's speech did have an effect, and she even made it into the paper. Now that Louis wasn't there, I guess they feel like they're being represented a lot more instead of it just being like, you know, herbivore superiority, like herbivore supremacy. They actually have representation because the public perception of carnivores um, was unfavorable because they're always viewed as like dangerous and stuff, especially gray wolves since they were featured on the news during their predation incidents. So what Juno's speech basically entailed, if you didn't like hear when I read it out, was that carnivores have a natural inclination to want to help herbivores, and they'll use their strength for them. Juno's speech technically wasn't wrong, even though it was kind of throwing shade at Haru at the time. Juno's not wrong. Just because they were born strong doesn't mean it's always used for chaos and violence. It can also be used to protect, and that's what Juno was getting at. Which is completely right, because Legacy just did the thing. He just did it. Even though it came off kind of shady, it was definitely the right move, public relations wise, and it helps carnivores in general. Which is what Juno wants. She wants to create unity and a better world for carnivores and herbivores. But carnivores mainly, since they're the minority. Let's see. Herbivores are seeing us in a better light. Their faces don't change, even I get within even when I get within a meter of their space. This has gotten me way less stressed. It's because you showed them what a carnivore can really do. You've got your own fan club, which is 30% herbivores. Oh, that's pretty awesome. It's all thanks to you. Thank you. That is awesome. This is unity right here, right? So Juno wants the Beastar title, And if she has a fan club of 30%, public perception of carnivores just shut up all because of her. And of course, through Legosi's actions, that helped tremendously. But that is great to see. So at the moment, I would probably go with Juno over Louis as the B star. But Louis is dropping out of school though, so I don't even think that's going to be a possibility for him at the moment. So yeah, that's good to know. I'm so glad. I had no idea. We went to the herbivore dorm, and some herbivores passed by and said hi to us. Normally, they would just glare at us. Preconceived notions. Hey, Legacy, you said that we're similar and that we're both stubborn and overbearing, right? I'll admit that I'm stubborn, but there's no one more overbearing than you. So is it true that you're gonna be the next B-star? Oh, it's too early to decide. Awesome. Can you imagine a female wolf being chosen as the leader of the student body? Louis isn't in school anymore, so it's actually possible. In fact, she should have it in the bag. So now I'm the rebel, and she's justice. That's interesting. I'd Juno seems well intentioned, and she definitely goes about reaching her goals in all the right ways, except when it comes to Haru. But she seems well intentioned, so I think she'd make an excellent candidate for a B star. But at the same time, Legacy is also he should also be in the running. This series is called, like, if you notice, this series is called Beastars, not Beastar. So I wonder if there could be more than one B star at a time. Like, how many B stars get selected? Is it just B star or B stars? How many gets elected? Like, what's the time period between the next one can be elected? I'm wondering that. Well, at least there aren't any herbivores in this room. They're wagging their tails. They're both happy. That's awesome. Staff room. Huh? Where's the headmaster? He isn't here. He's gone to the all-organism council meeting with a solemn look on his face. A council meeting? Wow, how many years has it been? Tonight's meeting isn't going to be a simple one. The heads of all species are going to be there. They're all restless to pick the next B-star in the Cherryton School. This prestigious school hasn't seen a B-star in 5 years. Okay, that's interesting. All organisms. And their taxonomies are written on their plaques right here, so that's awesome to see. Carnivores, herbivores. Actually, this is a perfect opportunity. I'd like to see if there's what diversity really is there in this room right now. Huh. We'll probably get a better look next chapter. The leaders of all the species? Why? Because this needs the attention of every species. This school has produced the largest numbers of leaders and bigwigs in history. Right now, a big tide is forming. Now is the time to discern their various problems and hopes. Okay, interesting. The dazzling hope of the school. Who will win the status of Beast Star? Okay, cool. So we see Louis right here. Juno's in the running, and a shadowy figure here. I believe. Let me go back just to be certainly sure. Oh, I believe that shadowy figure right there. It's Legosi. Yeah, it makes perfect sense that this will be Legosi because the Beastar candidates are people we know. Louis, Juno, Legosi. But it makes sense kinda that Legosi's in shadow because he's not one for the limelight. Legosi has very much been Louis' shadow since this series started. Juno's been her own entity with her own agenda, and that makes her interesting because you don't really know what Juno's gonna do. She has her own autonomy. So yeah, I can't predict what Juno's gonna do ever. But Louis, yeah, he's leaving school, so this should be inverse. I like how Legosi's in shadow because he wasn't acknowledged for what he did to her. I can't talk. Legosi wasn't acknowledged by the school for what he did for Haru. They know of it, but he didn't really get the credit he deserved. So that's why he's in shadow, which I guess that makes sense because Legosi's not really one for the limelight. And Legacy doesn't even want the Beastar title. That's not even on his mind. In fact, his whole goal was to support Louis in getting the Beastar title right here, but Louis out of the picture now. So my question is, will Legacy support Juno in getting the Beastar title? And I'd like to know, what does the Beastar title even mean to Legacy? If he were to be offered that position. If he were in the running for it. To promote unity between herbivores and carnivores. And co-prosperity. Co-unity and co-prosperity. Because I said this before, when it comes to elected positions like this, the best candidates are the candidates that have perspective from both ends. If it's a title like that, right now, Louis doesn't have perspective from carnivores. Louis is a specious, their version of racist in this show, right? He doesn't have the perspective of carnivores and their struggles and what they go through. He has it from the perspective of a victim, an herbivore, right? But now I think that might change because he's going to be working under, well, not under, he's the boss. He's going to be working with carnivores like on a daily basis. Now that he's trying to drop out of school and he's the new boss. Juno doesn't have perspective either. She hasn't been what Legacy's been through. She doesn't understand the struggle. She understands herself enough to know about, to acknowledge her own predatory instincts and have pride in being a wolf, right? But at the same time, I haven't seen her perspective on the struggles of, not the struggles of herbivores over carnivores. She knows what it feels like to be bullied and alienated, but she still has room for growth. But she's only a first year, so that makes sense. She's young. Legacy, on the other hand, he's seen the darkness, like, of the world. Not to the extent that Louis has, but he knows enough now. He literally fought tooth and nail to get Harbor back. To satisfy his own ego, mind you, but it doesn't matter. A righteous act for a selfish reason is still a righteous act, even if it was selfish. So it'd be interesting to see how Legacy grows from this. And if he would even go for the Beastar title. Right now, it's not even on his mind. That's not in his character. But if it were to be something that Legacy wants, it would be interesting to see him fight for it and really give his perspective of why he should be the Beastar over everyone else. So, that's pretty much it. I can't wait to find out what happens next. I love world building like this. The title is actually starting to become relevant now. Beastar. So that's pretty awesome. I can't wait to see it. Alright now. So, I will see you during chapter 53. Take it easy.